I I think so too.
Took a while for that to kick in. So, all right. So you're doing the Rain Man cheese ball thing with toothpicks. I was doing the exact same thing the other night.
I mean, I mean, over the years, I just didn't like getting the cheese up on my fingers. You know, I don't.
Right,
I
right,
still
right,
think
right.
that's
Yeah, your mom and I were laying in bed watching a movie the other night, and I was snacking, so I got that big canister of those, but I had to get a toothpick so I wouldn't get like cheese dust all in the bed. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 52 of the Gene Pool Variety Hour. I am Sean, I'm the old guy of the group, I'm the dad, I'm the old nerd, the OG guard nerd, or the OG guard, that's redundant, I'm the OG nerd, and the guy on the other screen is the young guy, and who's that?
and I am of course Connor, the snacker of the group.
Sorry, Chase, I gotta prop Chase up, so Chase is kind of, I gotta figure out some way to get Chase up here. Anyway, so we're a nerdy podcast that like to hang out.
Why not just leave Chase on the bookshelf?
Cause he needs to be up here. He's like front and center, man. If I put him back there, nobody knows where he is. You know, he kind of disappears with the Tetris lamp and the sign and the podcast sign and Norman Cliff and all that stuff. So I usually keep him up here, but he needs to be way over here, and I got nothing to prop him up on. So if I put him down, he's gonna be like that. He's gonna be like, let's try this. So anyway,
he's hung over. Just let him be hung over.
Just let his eyes just kind of sit there like that. So anyway, we just like to hang out and talk about a bunch of nerdy stuff. We used to do this at the house all the time when Connor lived here. Now that he lives in Ohio, we do this on Friday nights. This is our
with my lovely bride to be.
This is our 2-hour time or hour and a half time to just kind of hang out and nerd out and hopefully have folks join us. I appreciate that, Declan, for popping in with us. So we always start with kind of what's been going on in our lives, what's been up. If we got any cool stories, go. I know you do. I know you've had a rough week, so you can start. And you ain't got to go into a lot of detail. Just talk about. No. Stop. Okay, let me get. Oh, there's and he's way too high. That's a little high. So for those just listening to the podcast, I'm trying to find good camera angle for our mascot Chase. Yes, Connor, go ahead, speak. Just talk. Quit doing your little shark head thing or whatever you're doing and just talk. If you can't talk, I'll talk. You pick. What's it going to be?
It's been a rough week for me, mainly because I have to be the boss. I'm back in my department for for 1 more week.
Right.
At least 1 more week because because my supervisor Jeff is out recovering from his hernia surgery.
Yeah, right.
So I've been I now have a whole new level of respect for Jeff putting up with all he has to, all the paperwork, all the call-ins, all of the just the running around, getting stuff ready to actually do some work.
Right.
And it's just
look, I mean, this is one of those weeks we were talking about it yesterday morning when all this stuff hit you that sometimes in your adult life these kind of weeks hit you and you just do the best you can with it. You just survive and get through it and get to the other side.
Yesterday was the worst.
Right, because you were there by yourself.
Here's all that happened. Yesterday and Wednesday night there was no production. And so my second shift guy didn't come in.
Yeah.
So basically everything I did on Thursday was what was done that day.
Yeah.
And that would have been okay if I had a little bit of help.
Right.
But our new hire, Brian.
Don't go into details. Just say he couldn't be there.
I was just gonna say. He called in saying he couldn't make it.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I wasn't gonna go into detail.
Good
I'm not
for you.
Dumb. Okay.
I'm
not dumb.
Okay. So anyway.
So I basically had to try and do the work of 5 people. 5 people. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
uno, dos, tres, siete, cuatro, cinco.
Get your counting right.
Each,
1, 2, 5, 7, 10,
each
11,
Nissan
31.
Yanyo.
Whatever. Okay, whatever. Don't do the
Just
whole.
5 people.
You don't speak
all
either
by
language,
myself.
so.
I speak a little bit of Spanish and a little bit of Japanese. Shut up.
You don't speak
Thank you,
either
Mr.
language.
Hayes.
You speak as much as I do, and I speak none. And I took 2 years in high school. So, there you go. Anyway,
It's
so it's
just-
rough week. Any cool stuff going on? Any fun stuff going on?
I've started gaming with the boys, with my god friends, and one of them actually got me hooked into Minecraft after all these years. Shut up, Dad.
No, not doing it. Mm-mm. It's like I used to tell kids when I was in private practice, and they were big Minecraft fans. I'm like, I don't understand the draw to a game that makes you go, dink 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 dink,
Hey,
build
Dad,
build
Dad.
build build build,
did,
dink 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 dink,
Nick,
build build
Nicky
build build
gave-
build.
Dad,
I don't get it.
Dad, can okay, are you done?
Yes,
Ding,
I'm
ding,
done.
ding, ding. Okay. Nikki gave me the best analogy for it. Did you like playing with Legos growing up?
Kinda, but I didn't like. I mean, I like kind of creating a set, not an entire world, and I didn't like having to kill things and keep from dying to build stuff. That's all.
You do realize there's a mode in Minecraft called creative
Yeah,
mode
I know,
where basically you're a god and can build anything.
I know. But if I'm going to
That's
build,
what I'm doing.
listen, if I'm going to build Legos, I want to actually build real Legos. Okay? Because I can do that. I can build real Legos. I can do that. That's kind of fun. If I'm going to shoot aliens, I can't do that in real life, so that I play a game where I can shoot aliens. I can build things with Legos in real life. I don't need Minecraft to do it. But I mean, I get it, and it's creative, and I get all that. Just not my thing. Okay, so you've been into Minecraft, cool. Okay, any other cool? Yes.
I am excited for Monday. Want to know why?
Because it's Monday, you get to do the work week all over again?
No.
Oh.
Because my pre-ordered copy of Mass Effect Legendary Edition finally comes in.
Guess what's been sitting on my hard drive for 2 days?
That game,
The Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
trying to download.
No. I bought it and downloaded it. It's sitting on
Then
my
why
hard
haven't
drive.
you played it?
This is why. Well, first of all, I haven't had time. Okay, it's been that kind of a week.
Yeah.
Okay, and do my Friday night gaming with friends. And Mass Effect is a single player thing, and I would actually like to stream it. Okay, and like just do like a weekly, sometime during the middle of the week. Well, I don't get a chance to do that much, but after your mom and I and Mitch come up and visit you in a couple of weeks, then Mom's going out to Oklahoma to visit, your grandmother for the summer. So she's gonna be gone most of the summer. So I'm gonna have lots of time just sitting here at the house by myself. So I'm probably gonna hold off on playing it until after we get back from Ohio, so that I can start a stream, let's play stream from the beginning. So that's why I haven't started playing it yet.
Okay.
I want to go ahead. I'm dying to go in and create my shepherd, but I want that to be part of the stream. So I'm waiting. So anyway, okay. So that's cool. So that's what you'll be doing for the next 3 months, 6 months, year, whatever.
2 years.
Yeah. Cool.
I mean, guys, just to give you some context, I love Mass Effect more than I love Pokemon, and I love Pokemon a whole bunch.
Yeah, that's true. So
I mean, growing up, there was this one summer where literally I played nothing but Mass Effect day in, day out. I just went to the rec room, turned on the Xbox 360, sat in that crappy recliner, and played.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
So much so mom said, just like Connor take all that to his room. It's way too hot in there.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, and then I didn't leave my room except to eat and use
Ever.
the bathroom.
Ever.
Yeah.
Right. So, guess who forgot to start the audio stream recording?
You did.
This guy. Yeah, so I'll have to just download the stream from Twitch and just convert it to audio. I mean, it's we're not losing it. It's a whole lot easier to not do it the other way. So which means I can shut down Audacity and not have to take up resources. So that's gone. Cool. So as far as me, last weekend we didn't get to stream last weekend because I was out of town. I was helping run a retreat for some of our guys. We were down in Tybee Island. I kind of talked about that last time. I did get to go to Huckapoo's, which is the bar, the restaurant and bar that I want to go to. That NFL podcaster that I really liked that passed away a few months ago from cancer. Tybee was like his adopted home, and Huckapoo's was his place. There's a picture and a T-shirt of him hanging in the bar. Okay, there's pictures of him serving people from behind the bar. He was just like a fixture when he was down there. So I did get to go. Spent several hours at Huckapoo's. Oh, got me a shirt. Got me a Huckapoo shirt. So
did you get wasted?
No, I didn't get wasted. I had a few drinks, but I didn't get wasted. No, I don't get wasted. You know that. So, sorry, I'm fixing my light. One sec. I like my Tetris light, but those pieces are so flimsy and light that they won't sit still, so the least little bump shifts them and then they turn off. So that bugs me. So anyway, so I did that. And then work was work this week. I had to go back to Savannah today because I was doing a spouse retreat for some of the other spouses down there. So this was my day. I'll tell my funny story later, but my day was drive an hour to base where I work, hook up with the first sergeant and the chaplain, and we drive 4 hours to Savannah. We do a 2.5 hour retreat with the spouses. Then we drive 4 hours back to base, and then I drive an hour home. I literally walked in 30 minutes before this podcast tonight. Long day. But hey, it's what we do to take care of our guys and their families and their spouses. So I didn't have a problem doing it. It's just a long day. But here's how my day started. Okay, so since I live an hour away, we were leaving at 6 o'clock in the morning this morning to head to Savannah. So it takes about an hour, a little over an hour, right at an hour to get to base. So I needed to leave. I said, okay, I'm going to leave about 4:45 in the morning to make sure I can get there plenty of time to be ready to go at 6. Which means I set my alarm at 3:45 in the morning, knowing that I would snooze for probably 15 minutes, get up at 4, be ready by 4:30, and get out. Well, apparently at 3:45, I turned my alarm off instead of hit the snooze button and go right back to sleep, sleeping like a baby. I roll back over a little bit later, look at my clock, and it's 4:30. I have to leave in 15 minutes, and I've done nothing. Mm-hmm. So obviously, you're going to just jump up, and this is a huge chicken, but it looks like a bunny, and I'll tell you why in a minute, or you'll know why in a minute. So I'm going to play chicken. But anyway, so most people in that situation would jump up and fly to the bathroom and start getting ready, right? Which is what I did. Now, what you guys have to understand, I need to move over. What you guys need to understand is that in my master bedroom, there's the bedroom part, there's a little hallway part where our walk-in closet is, that's a little hallway into our master bathroom. Now, what you also need to know is that my wife about 9 months ago bought a bunny because she just wanted a bunny. She's always kind of wanted a bunny. She bought a bunny. And she keeps it in our bedroom in that little hallway bathroom area at night. And she has like a folding metal gate that she can put up there. And she puts it up there at night to keep him from wandering the whole bedroom at night and chewing on whatever. Well, I know, but you can't see that gate at night in the dark. You can't see it, but I know it's there. So I get up in the morning, and I go and I step over it and go to the bathroom and start getting ready. But again, I woke up with a start at 4:30 in the morning, jumped out of bed, and raced to the bathroom. Completely forgot we had a bunny and a gate. Ran slap through the gate, sliced up my leg, went headlong straight over the thing, landed on my chest, face, and shoulder. I did the whole back bend. My legs bent over my back, and I could almost see my toes over my head, but I was laying flat on my stomach. And went, ow. So, yeah, I'm sure Declan doesn't know this because he's from Australia, but and you don't know because you were young, but back in the day, there was this show on ABC called The Wide World of Sports. And they showed it was before ESPN, this kind of stuff. And they showed a variety of different sporting events on Saturdays. And it was like most of the day on Saturday. And their intro had clips of all these sporting events. And they talked about, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, all this kind of stuff. Well, one of the clips in there was a clip of, I think it was Olga Korbut, who was like Romanian or Czechoslovakian or something, gymnast from back in the 70s. And there's a famous image of her like doing the balance beam where she's laying on the balance beam on her chest, her chin's on the balance beam, and her legs are bent over backwards over her like this, and her feet are dangling on either side of her head, and you see her head kind of straining. That's what it felt like this morning. And you know how when you fall, one of two things usually happens. It's like immediately everything goes into slow motion, and it's like, right? Yeah. Or it happens immediately like a flash. It was definitely the flash thing. It's like I get up and I run. All of a sudden, next thing I know, I'm laying face first on the ground with my shoulder plowed into the floor, my feet over my head going, ow. And I don't know how all that happened until about 10 minutes later when my brain actually started to process it, because I didn't have time to figure it out. I literally got up and kept running into the bathroom and was in the shower in like 30 seconds.
Is the bunny okay?
Bunny's fine, but the bunny was like this like white blur boom, across the room. It's like this like UFO puffy white cotton ball alien ship spurting across the room.
So language, Dad. Or wait.
Oh, white puffy cotton ball.
No.
Stop.
Dad, we're moving. Listen. Did you say ship or something else?
Ship, like a UFO
okay.
ship.
I thought you said the other word.
I have no idea what UFO the other stuff looks like. How could I describe that? I don't know what UFO that looks like. I don't know. So anyway, that's how my day started, was with that. My back is better. It was super bad. I took a bunch of ibuprofen this morning. My leg is still kind of sore from all the scrapes on it. My shoulder is still jacked up. On the drive to Savannah this morning, and I'm sitting in the back. I'm like, y'all got to drive. I'm hurting this morning. I'm sitting in the back, and all of a sudden, and I know my shoulder's been hurting, and all of a sudden I go, wow, my fingers and my hands are numb. My fingers on that hand and my hand are numb. I think I did something to a nerve because my arm is starting to tingle. And I took some ibuprofen, got better, and then this afternoon started again. So right now I've got this nice tingly feeling in my hands where I've done something jacked up, pinched a nerve in my shoulder. So not a fun way to start the day.
Or something?
What's that?
Is your shoulder dislocated or something?
Okay. What?
Is your shoulder dislocated or something?
Oh, if it was dislocated, I would know. And you would know because it would be like you'd have a bone sticking up like this. No. And I didn't have to do the whole Mel Gibson slamming it into the wall to put it back into place. So that was my day. It's been a... Forget it. You're too young. Moving on. Hey, Declan should know who Mel Gibson is. He's a fellow Australian. So anyway, so there was that. New season of Destiny, doing that. I do have Mass Effect that I'll start here soon. There's a new game that came out called Knockout Kings, where it's like 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 dodgeball across the city. I'm probably going to download. We might try that tonight. But anyway, so that's kind of some of the stuff that's been going on for me. I do have something fun happening Sunday night. I'm joining TV's Travis on his podcast, Wait You Haven't Seen, and we're going to talk about the movie Ronin with Robert De Niro from 90-something or other. I can't remember. He's seen it before. He really likes the movie. I've never seen it before, and that's the way his podcast goes. They watch some classic movie that one of the two co-host has not seen before. Okay, I don't know what you're doing with that chewing thing. For people that are just listening, Connor's doing some kind of weird, purposeful, like open mouth chewing thing over there, and it's kind of weird. So that's kind of what's been going on with us. I think it's time to move on. Let's do the geek question. How about it?
Sure.
Okay.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Thank you, Connor, for not repeating that. Let's just let Arnold do his thing and move on. Yeah, whatever. So, as you can see, on the screen, the movie that we're going to be talking about tonight is called The Catcher Was a Spy. Interesting movie. I can't wait to talk about it. So our geek question is kind of tied into something like that. All right. So, if you became a secret agent or spy, what strategy would you use to hide your identity while undercover? There's a lot of different directions you can go, different ways, strategies for doing that. So how would you do it? How would you hide your identity? What would you do?
It's simple, Dad. Um in modern society,
Ooh.
people not want to avoid physical contact with other people, don't they?
Yeah, you broke up on me there. Can you want to say that again? I think your
Yeah.
connection kind of froze up a bit. Say it again.
Ah. In today's modern age, people naturally want to avoid people on the streets, but many people who work for organizations or charities still try to do that.
Uh-huh.
Like the guy in the grocery store parking lot that's like, do you have a minute to talk about the environment and stuff like that?
Right.
Excuse me. I need to.
So
get off.
polite on the podcast.
I said I'm so. I said excuse me, didn't I?
Moving on. I need to make some. I need to make some shirts that say that. Moving on, because I say that a lot when I'm on this thing with you. So.
An easy way to do this is to put on the disguise or the persona of someone who is affiliated with a charity or a cause or an organization, and act very gung ho about talking to people in the streets. Because people want to naturally avoid them. They don't want to talk about that stuff.
Right.
So then that way, no one then makes eye contact with you, and you literally become invisible.
Yeah.
To them, because people only truly remember what they consciously pay attention to.
Yeah.
And if they hear someone in the background trying to carny people in to talk about the environment, the votes, and all that, they're gonna be like, I'm gonna avoid that guy. Don't even look at him. Just keep on going.
Yeah. And I get that. So that's your tech, just kind of being a charitable organization worker that's trying to talk to people, which is going to force him to walk away from you.
It's a good way to move through a crowd.
Whose dog was barking?
Our across neighbors.
Oh, I was about to say, when did y'all get a dog? Because I know Nikki's allergic.
No. Yeah.
So anyway, moving on.
They have a Chihuahua and a pit bull, Caesar and Bane.
That's interesting. What would you call the dogs if they had a kid?
What do you mean?
A Shy Bull, a Chicago Bull. I mean, a Chihuahua and a Pit Bull. So a Shibull, a Pitua. What would you call it if you had if a Pit Bull and a Chihuahua had a baby?
Miniature Pit Bull. Miniature Pit Bull.
Dude, I saw the coolest dog ever. I think I talked about it a couple of weeks ago when we were in Seattle for work. Some dude, we were sitting out at an outside, restaurant eating outside, and some dude had a, what's up, man? A Bullwawa. Nicely played, Mitch. Somebody had a mini bully, and they're like miniature pit bulls or American bulldogs. It was the coolest dog, and then I looked up and saw that they were like $4,000 to $5,000, and went, nope, I'll get me a mutt. It's cool. I'm good. So, okay, so you would do that. That would be your approach, right?
To basically do one research into a common and organization or cause
Yeah.
That's known in the area.
Right.
To then to then and interact with some of those people to kind of get the mannerisms down.
Right. Right.
And three, he use all this information to move through a crowded city, practically unwantingly being seen, you know.
Yeah. Um. Okay. And yeah. And I was sitting there thinking, there's a lot of different there's a lot of different ways you could go about it. One way is to do what you did. Try to be someone that people try to avoid or obnoxious or whatever, right? Another approach that I was thinking of was, kind of like the whole Master of Disguise with Dana Carvey, where you end up doing a character that's so that you do a character that's so outlandish that the outlandish character draws attention away from you and draws suspicion away from you just because you're so bizarre. They forget to think that you might be a spy, right? Something like that. I could see that.
But then at the same time, if
yes,
I was checking the
Turtle.
stream and
Yeah.
And,
just read and talk at the same time.
It was paused. Okay. The only problem with that is because the way a spy works is they need to be unseen. They need to draw attention away from themselves to naturally move through a crowd and get to their target. If you play this outlandish character and draw all the attention to yourself, you can't be an effective spy because then
yeah, and I see what you're saying. However, there is something to be said for it. Look at Ace Ventura. With some of the characters he would do, they were stupid outlandish, and people just were completely focused on who is that doofus over there, that they didn't think that he actually knew what he was doing and was actually doing some investigation. So it's kind of like a sleight of hand kind of thing, right? Now, me being an introvert, I couldn't get away with that. Okay, first of all, I couldn't do the whole makeup stuff, and I'm not outgoing enough to be able to do something like that. So I would take the much different approach of being one of the unwanteds, okay, or one of the invisibles. Not, what are you doing?
Give me a second. Dang it.
Okay.
Sometimes I hate this stutter because because they want to do a joke, but then then the dialogue gets stuck in my throat.
You're
and I just
right.
Like
I know.
Idiot.
that's what I was trying to figure out.
I was trying to say, hey, am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club? But I was trying to do it in the accent with
Okay.
the little turtle lip face.
So anyway, I would take the approach of being invisible by being one of the undesirables or being in a position, a type of job that people just ignore. Okay, something where you're just the unseen. So for example, people, and it's a comment on humanity, tend to turn their heads and look away from homeless. And so it's easy to kind of blend in and be part of the street and watch stuff without people paying attention. But I'll kind of play into that short story that I wrote for the Legion of Dorks anthology that's getting published, where my guy has these superpowers, but he's just a janitor in a car factory, right? And because he was a janitor, people just kind of ignored him. He would come in their place and sweep and this kind of stuff, and they just completely ignored him because he was just, quote unquote, just the janitor. But it allowed him to see everything that was going on in the factory because he was everywhere, because he was cleaning everything, right? So I would probably take that kind of approach of being garbage collector, janitor in a building, in the office building where I'm or something like that, where you're just a normal job and you're all over the place, but you're the kind of job where people expect you to be all over the place, and you just become an invisible part of the office space, right? So that's probably the approach that I would use. I definitely couldn't do the bold and some people use, like in this movie we're going to talk about, they're super intelligent and can use that intelligence to get them anywhere they need to go and interact with people in any way they need to interact to get where they need to be, right? Which is what Paul Rudd's character did. I couldn't do that. I ain't that smart. I don't know 7 languages. I don't, I couldn't do that. I can't talk about nuclear physics, with any kind of intelligence. I can't talk about most things with any sort of intelligence. So, so that's probably the approach that I would take, would be that kind of invisible job. Yeah, so that's probably what I do. So I guess that was it. Anything else on that one?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, that was a pretty quick. Usually we debate a lot more about that one, right? Or about the question.
I mean, you have your answer. I have mine.
Yeah, well, so that's it, I guess. So, do we want to talk about other stuff? Do we want to talk about the movie and just kind of jump in and go, or what do you want to do?
I say we do the movie.
You want to do the movie? Okay, let's do the movie. So we're gonna
let's do the movie.
Okay. All right. So you're kind of having trouble getting some words out this evening. So we're just gonna do the movie. So this is the next installment of Roll for Credits. Don't start. How many of those have you had? I've run out almost, so I'm okay. So I can see that you can count at least up to 3, so that's good. So anyway, all right, so guys, okay, I'm gonna wait and let Connor get through his gigglies. So y'all just enjoy the gigglies for a minute while I have a sip. I wish I could figure out my angles because it's always backwards over here. See, this has happened with Connor since he's been a kid. Once he gets the giggles, doesn't matter. And if I make any kind of facial expressions at all, it just keeps it going. So it's kind of my fault that I keep perpetuating it. While you're trying to calm down, you know what I thought about? Here, this is a good chicken. I should have downloaded the Killer Rabbit Runaway sound clip and use that tonight. I didn't think about that. Anyway. Okay, so the chickens are done clucking. Are you done clucking? This is riveting audio, people. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, okay, you ready? Okay, I tell you what, I'm about to mute you while I talk about the movie until you can calm down.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm ready. This garage is hot, dude. I'm ready to get done and get out of here. It's too loud in here with that AC running, and I got my blanket for it. It wouldn't matter anyway. The cold air would just blow right up against the blanket and go, oh well. And then I would be in the hot box inside a cool garage.
I think I'm good.
Okay, so we're talking about this movie, and this was Amazon Prime, right? No, it's Hulu. It was on Hulu.
It was Hulu, yeah.
It was a 2018 movie called The Catcher Was a Spy, starring Paul Rudd.
The Catcher in the Rye?
No, The Catcher Was a Spy. It stars Paul Rudd as Mo Berg. It also stars Mark Strong, who was in the Gentleman movies. He was like I'm drawing a blank on those the names of those movies. Anyway, like the British spy movies, and I forgot what
Bond?
No, not James Bond. They were like recent. I can't recall. I'm drawing a blank on their names. Anyway. Jeff Daniels.
Kingsman.
The Kingsman, thank you. Yes, the Kingsman. So he played like the butler kind of handle everything guy. I really like him. He played Heisenberg. Werner Heisenberg from Nazi Germany. Jeff Daniels was in it. Paul Giamatti, Guy Pearce. So it was a pretty good cast. And it's based on a true story. And that's what fascinated me. To me, I mean, the movie was good. I really enjoyed it. But it was an okay movie. But the true story behind it is what was so fascinating. So should I just keep talking while you keep giggling over there, or should we go into another? Should I just sit there? I tell you what, I'm going to do this.
I'm sorry, it's drunken giggles. You can't control them.
Okay, so here's the premise of this movie, guys, and this is true story. I mean, you can't. I mean, if somebody made this movie, you go, that's kind of a pretty unbelievable premise, but it's true. Moe Berg was a Jewish baseball player in the major leagues back in the 30s, 20s,
Possibly
and 30s.
gay.
Huh?
Possibly gay.
No, if you'd let me get to that, we'll talk about that, but that's not true. But anyway, so he's a Major League Baseball player in the 20s and 30s, catcher.
Boston Red Sox.
And he's Jewish. He played for about 4 teams, actually, in his 15-year career. If you had done some research like I told you to, like I did, you know this.
I literally just watched it today, Dad.
But he's super smart. He graduated from Princeton. He went to Columbia Law School. He speaks 7 languages. He literally has his PhD, so he was called Doc Berg in baseball. Casey Stengel referred to him as the strangest guy that ever played the game of baseball. Throughout his entire life, he was considered kind of a mystery and an enigma. Nobody ever could really figure this guy out. Super smart and played Major League Baseball for 15 years. So, and he ends up becoming a spy for the OSS, which was like the World War II precursor to the CIA, as a spy to spy against Nazi Germany to see if they were close to building an atomic bomb. And he was tasked with
What does OSS stand for?
Office of Strategic. I forgot. I can't remember. But anyway, and he was tasked with assassinating Werner Heisenberg if he thought that they were close to building the bomb.
What does OSS stand for?
Okay.
Office
of Strategic Services. That was close. Okay.
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 I'm
So
just curious. That's all.
So that's the premise of the movie. So this baseball player all of a sudden becomes a spy for the military in World War II. Because he was so smart, he was so educated, he was on game shows for smart people. And the way this started was he was getting late in his career. His baseball manager was saying, hey, you need to retire and just start coaching. And he didn't want to, but they were going to do, and this was right before the war had really started. It was in the 1938, I think. And a bunch of the older players were going to Japan to play some exhibition games with Japanese players. It was like a goodwill tour kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so he was invited to go with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. I mean, all these big players, he was one of them that got to go. Because he knew that we were probably getting close to war with Japan, he took a video camera and wore like Japanese garb, went to a high-rise hospital and snuck his way to the top of the building and filmed the naval yards and the shipyards and took it to the OSS when he got back to the States just because he thought it might be important for them to have. So he kind of invited himself into the OSS to be a spy. And so the whole movie is him kind of training to be the spy and him going over and meeting Werner Heisenberg to try to figure out if he's going to build the bomb or not and determining whether or not he needs to kill him. Fascinating story. And it's true. Now, they had some creative license with it. Connor kind of alluded to it earlier, that there were some suggestions in the movie that did he never marry and was he kind of strange and kept himself because he was possibly gay? He's possibly homosexual. There were some suggestions of that. I did some research on a documentary that's been done on him and some interviews with, like, for example, Babe Ruth's daughter was interviewed about him and this kind of stuff. And all the indications are no. They said he used to go to parties all the time alone and he never left alone. He always left her with a woman. And he always had women with him and he had, he just chose never to get married and was a very private person. And we don't know what was going on with him, but they still, to this day, they kind of consider him just this weird, mysterious enigma. He was just like this weird guy, but super brilliant. So they had some creative license there, but the general story is absolutely true. And that's what I found so fascinating. So that's that's kind of my initial salvo of my thoughts about the movie. What did you want to say about it, Connor?
The movie was short but powerful.
I just found it really interesting. The professional
Same here.
reviewers, they didn't really like it. I mean, it's like average 6.2 out of 10 score, but
That's still better than average.
But here's the thing, and somebody, like a user review that I was reading, made a great point that I think a lot of the professional reviewers probably missed. They said, there's a difference between, what was it said? There's a difference between a spy movie and a spy biopic. Because a spy movie, 007, Jason Bourne, all
James
those kind of
Bond.
things. That's 007, right? Also known as James Bond.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
They're
seen
you know,
any
those
Jason-
movies are always
I've never
super
seen it.
exciting and just action and this kind of stuff. But in real life, spy work is a lot of secret, boring observation, slipping in, slipping out. So it's not stuff that's going to make for a really fantastic movie. This was clearly a spy biopic, not a spy movie. So I think that if you went into it looking at it like that, then it made a whole lot more sense. And I like the fact just because it was, yeah, like those. I mean, right. So the thing is, if you went into it looking at, hey, this is a story about this guy named Mo Berg and what he did, and you knew that it was true, it was really fascinating. He got the Presidential Medal of Freedom,
Medal of Freedom.
which is the highest.
It's the highest.
It's the highest award that a civilian can get from the presidency. But here's the weird thing: he refused to accept it. But he never told anybody why. He just wouldn't accept the award. Now, when he died in '72, his sister contacted the White House and requested his medal, and she got his medal to have in the family because he never accepted the medal. And I don't remember if he got inducted in the Baseball Hall of Fame, but he had lifetime admission to any Major League Baseball park for any game the rest of his life. And so he ended up spending the rest of his life after this movie. He worked for the CIA a little bit, and then by the 50s, he wasn't working at all.
OSS.
No, you didn't. The OSS turned into the CIA.
Oh.
You didn't let me finish. So, and then after that, by the 50s, he wasn't working anymore. He just lived with his family, lived with his brothers and sisters the rest of his life until the 70s. And he spent all of his time either at libraries or baseball parks. That's just what he did. So I thought it was a fantastic movie, and it's really intriguing. The acting was good. I mean, there wasn't really a lot to work with, and I don't know that Paul Rudd would have been my first pick for that role, because he doesn't strike me as the strong, silent type, mysterious type like Mo Berg was. I could see somebody like Liv Schreiber, or I'm trying to think of somebody else that would probably be good in that role. That could play that role. Because when I think Paul Rudd, I think, Ant-Man, and what's some other stuff that he's been in? Silly comedies, huh?
Not much.
Yeah, no, he's been in a lot, just not a lot of things that would say that he would be good in this movie. Of course, Paul Giamatti is always good. I like Jeff Daniels. He even though your first thought was, is that the guy from Dumb and Dumber? Yeah. But he's a great dramatic actor. I thought he did great. Mark Strong, who played Heisenberg, his role was kind of small. He was only in it for like maybe 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the whole movie. But he was good. Guy Pearce's role was kind of small. He was okay. There you go.
Guy Pearce the
Yeah,
same
leave
guy
it
who was-
leave it to Mitch to give us a list of all the movies that Paul Rudd's been in. I mean, I Love You, Man.
Guy Pearce, the guy who was Guy Pearce the guy who's in Iron Man 3 as the main bad guy.
I think he was in one of them. If you ever seen the movie Memento, he plays the main character, the lead role in Memento, which is a fantastic movie. You need to watch that sometime, Connor.
It's just who played the military guy that was with Mo and the German physicist.
Well,
That guy.
that
That's
was
the guy
Guy
I'm
Pearce. That
talking
was
about.
Guy Pearce.
Okay, yeah. He I really think he was the guy that played
Wasn't
um
that Sam Rockwell?
that pl- okay. I gotta look it up now. It's gonna
I
drive me
think that was
crazy.
Sam. I think you're thinking about Sam Rockwell for that role. But look, if you ever want to watch a cool movie, Connor, you need to go watch Memento. It's about a guy that has amnesia, and he can't remember every day when he wakes up. He can't remember anything before.
Guy Pearce.
Oh, okay, it was Guy Pearce. Okay, good memory. Sam Rockwell's in those too. So, anyway, and I much prefer Sam Rockwell to Guy Pearce. Anyways, Guy Pearce is okay.
Aldrich Killian. That's his name.
Okay.
Aldrich Killian.
Okay.
That was the bad guy's name.
So, the movie's pretty clean. It was rated R. I didn't really understand why it was rated R. There was no nudity. There was not a lot of language. There was one questionable scene at the beginning, but it was pretty quick. Nothing was shown. It was just it was kind of an abrupt scene. Now, see, now I haven't seen Ravenous, Mitch, so I don't know much about that one. So I'll have to check that one out.
There is one thing I did kind of have a problem with the movie. In the early stages of the movie, we about two people questioned Moberg's sexuality.
Yep.
One of them was a rookie on the team, and then a more veteran player was telling him it doesn't matter, her just drop it, and then who played the general guy?
Jeff Daniels. Yeah.
Just Jeff Daniels. He asked the question too, and he said I don't care, as long as you do your job.
Yeah.
At that time and age, being not straight was even worse than being non-white.
Yes, and I get that.
So those reactions were completely fabricated just to fit the movie.
But so was the homosexuality completely fabricated. So they couldn't make a huge deal of it in the storyline of the movie if it really wasn't a situation anyway. They just kind of
still it also makes no sense because.
But you have to understand.
Just 10 years ago.
Okay.
It was even just 10 years ago. It was almost that bad.
But you have to understand, Connor, that if it wasn't really an issue in history, yes, there were questions, but there was no evidence of it. Then they're going to throw that in there to go, hey, maybe. But they can't make it a major part of the storyline if in real history there was no evidence of it, because then you're taking a biopic in a completely fabricated area of a movie, and then you're making it not true anymore. So they probably threw it in there.
Then that's the thing.
Oh my goodness, you're not listening to me.
Why make a period piece if they're not going to try and keep something as serious as that?
Because they're trying. Because maybe sometimes
they could easily just not even put it in there.
Because sometimes movies do things for virtue signaling. Okay, to say, hey, this may have been an issue, but that's as far as they go with it. They don't try to make. If it was a major part of the storyline, if it was really happening in history, they would have made it part of the storyline. Otherwise, they're going from a biopic to complete fiction. Okay, and that makes the movie more unbelievable. Then it becomes not based on a true story, but inspired by true events, and it would have made it much less impactful to me if they had done that, because then the movie becomes something that history wasn't. And I much prefer something more based on the historical facts of things, you know? So that's probably why they did it, you know? I wouldn't make that big of a deal about it. Was there a question?
That was my only problem with it.
That was my
only problem with the movie. And that's why I brought it up,
yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, I mean, so I thought the acting was good. You had mentioned something about special effects or something. I didn't really pay attention to that.
Yeah. The animation in some of the explosions seemed a little out of place. He's kind of like.
In what way?
like it just didn't match in a way, you know.
Mm.
So something just felt off about how they animated some of the detonations, some of the flames,
Mm-hmm.
some of the birds. You know, just it did not feel right.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
I,
um
I
and
I I didn't really notice
and
that because
then
I was kind of engrossed in the story, so I didn't notice the little details like that.
and then and then in my mind, I was just thinking they probably spent so much money getting these A-list actors in here that they didn't have enough to make good special effects.
Maybe, and I mean there wasn't CGI in this movie. It was all regular effects. It was explosions, and there was no CGI in this movie that I saw. Um, These explosions may not have been as big as you thought, but you also have to understand that in World War II, the explosions aren't as big as what you might see now because the bombs and the explosives weren't as big as they are now, right? They weren't as efficient or whatever you want to say. So anyway, overall, I thought the true story is much more fascinating than the movie was, but I thought the movie was really good. I would probably give it a 7 out of 10,
Same here.
maybe 8. Um, Again, I thought everybody did a good job. I probably would have picked somebody else for Paul Rudd's character to play Mo Berg. Would have been more believable to the kind of person that Mo Berg really was. But if you like biopics, if you like stuff that's really based on history, that's really interesting, that you couldn't make this up and make a fiction movie like this, and for anybody to kind of go, well, this is kind of weird. You know, that's like sometimes when truth is stranger than fiction. I love that when that happens. So check it out on Hulu. It's really good. It's not a long movie. It's less than 2 hours. What, an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, something like that, I think. You're faking. Stop doing that.
Dang it! How'd you know?
Because I could hear your lips moving.
Dang it!
Come on, dude. You've tried to trick me since you've been a kid, and I always catch you. So
There are some
okay.
things I still tricked you at.
You do realize that I can basically see your upper lip and your head, the top of your head. You look like kind of that whole kind of guy. So
Hey, but still, there were times I did trick you growing up. All the times I stayed up late
mm-hmm.
playing my
Yeah, I
Game
know.
Boy and my DS.
So
And then I quickly rolled on my side and snored.
right. So what else we got?
You believe me then?
Any more parting shots about this movie?
Um, completely gloss over the fact that Mo in the movie tried to kill himself.
And see, and you mentioned you need to back up a little bit because it's your headphones. When they get close to the mic, they're causing some feedback. That's where that feedback's coming from. So, because you
Essentially,
mentioned that, and I must have missed that because I don't remember him trying to jump out of a window.
Do you remember that scene when he just starts running full force down a hallway?
Yeah, he wasn't trying to jump out of a window, Connor.
No. Was he running from someone? No. He had just talked about if I do much more of this work, I'm gonna kill someone, maybe myself.
You completely missed that. You completely misrepresent that scene. What was happening was he's a baseball player. He's a professional athlete. They've got him cooped up at a desk. Him saying he's going to just jump out a window, he's going to kill himself, that was just a figure of speech. He saw the long, straight hall. It allowed him to just basically do a 40-yard dash just to get some energy out because he needed to move. That's what was going on in that scene. He wasn't trying to kill himself or jump out of a window. That's why I was so confused when you said that. I'm like, I completely missed that scene. That didn't happen. He was just trying to...
I still think.
Well, you're wrong. Completely wrong. That is not what was going on. Because when Jeff Daniels came in and says, you running from everybody? And he's like, no. Okay, well, come on. He was just trying to... It's like the movie...
Stopped him from killing himself.
No, call me. No, it's like the movie Summer... It's like the movie Summer School. And Mitch probably knows this movie. The movie Summer School, right before they take their big test that they have to take, that one character, he grabs his hair and he screams at the top of his lungs and freaks everybody out. And he just goes, tension breaker, had to be done. Okay, that's what was going on. That's what was going on for Mo. He just needed to get rid of some energy. That's all that was. So now mystery solved. He wasn't trying to kill himself. Okay. Go check out the movie. I thought it was really enjoyable. So so what we're going to do now is we're going to select another movie. I'm going to roll for a movie at random, but then Connor has another idea, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So let me get my dice. And you guys know, the people that come in, you guys know that we roll for movies at random unless something happens and we decide to pick one specifically, which I kind of don't like to do, although we've done it on special occasions. So I'm going to roll and see which streaming service we're going to use. And I got a 17, which is Netflix. So, and then
Roll Netflix.
So we're doing Netflix, and then I got a 9, which is a sci-fi movie. So we're going into sci-fi, and then roll percentage dice and see what we got there. And I literally rolled 100. I rolled a 00 and a 0. So I literally rolled 100. So I'm going to go and look for the 100th movie in the sci-fi category on Netflix, and we're going to go check that out. So y'all hang tight. I'll be right back. All right, so, whoa, something. Okay, there we go. So the 100th movie in the sci-fi category on Netflix looks like it's a Netflix original or Netflix exclusive, something like that, called Space Sweepers. And I'm going to look that up on IMDb because I don't know anything about that movie. I've heard something about it, but I don't know anything about it. So let me pull that up. And Space Sweepers, okay. And it is from 2021, and it says set in the year 2092. The movie is set in the year 2092, and it follows the crew of a space junk collector ship called the Victory when they discover a humanoid robot named Dorothy that's known to be a weapon of mass destruction. They get involved in a risky business deal. So they're space garbage collectors. So that's the movie we rolled at random.
It sounds kind of like the beginning premise of Alien. Space scavengers finding something that you weren't supposed to.
So that's what we typically do. So we typically roll for a random movie. Connor would like to instead pick a specific movie to watch next time, and what he would like to watch is
Army of the Dead.
He wants to watch Army of the Dead, the new movie that's on. The new Snyder movie that's on Netflix. So if anybody's still left in chat, let us know which one you want to do. Do you want us to do Army of the Dead, or do you want us to do Space Sweepers? Okay, I knew that Mitch was going to go Army of the Dead, so I think we're going to go. Yeah, I knew once I saw Mitch was in, huh?
Dave Bautista, Zombie Tiger.
Okay, well, and it's also Zack Snyder. So he's the director.
Snyder?
He's the. Okay, Mitch. Don't shoot him, man. Don't shoot him.
I don't know directors. I'm sorry.
I know. He's the one that's... Okay, Army of the Dead it is. We're watching Army of the Dead next time. So, Zack Snyder, he did Justice League, the Superman movies, all the DC kind of... He's involved with the DC movies. I never saw
any of the DC movies.
Well, I didn't either. I haven't either. I mean, I've seen a couple, but I haven't seen...
I prefer Jon Favreau.
Yeah, I know, and he's a different style than Zach tends to be much darker. So I'll be interested to see what this Army of the Dead is going to be. So I guess we're going to do Army of the Dead next time. So that's cool. And
Dad, just listen. Zombie Tiger.
Oh, and Sucker.
Not watch it.
I forgot he did 300 in Sucker Punch, and I really like 300. Sucker Punch. I'm sitting there going, I'm not sure what I just watched. So I need to go back and watch that one again. I did love 300. So I'm looking forward to watching it. I got no problems watching it.
What's 300?
It's about the Spartans and how 300 Spartans held back.
This is Sparta?
Yes, it's that movie. It's that movie. Yes. It's a good movie. It's a great movie.
I was thinking of another movie. The one where all people say I'm this person. What is it? It also.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Also a gladiator movie.
I have no idea.
Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus. Listen, what's the name? for that movie?
Gladiator. You're thinking Gladiator.
Yeah.
And it's not
I
Spartacus.
always get those two mixed up.
It's not Spartacus. What was his name? God, I'm drawing a blank on his name now. It wasn't Spartacus.
It's Spartacus.
Maximus.
Spartacus.
It was Maximus.
No,
Maximus-
They called him Spartacus.
No, they called him anyway. Anyway, moving on from that. See, again,
Look it
I need to make a hashtag moving on shirt for the
But seriously,
podcast.
look it up. They said
okay, fine.
They said I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus.
Okay, whatever. So moving on. That's what we're doing.
Bitch,
We're
back
gonna do,
me up.
Okay, we're gonna do Army of the Dead. I'm sure you're right because you have a better memory than me. That's cool. So that'll definitely guarantee that Hook and Bones will be in here next time because they'll want to talk about it too. So, and our alarm is about to go off. Our time just went out. So we timed this one pretty stinking good. So,
Yeah.
all right. That's all we got, guys. I'm ready to go. I've had a long day of being in a vehicle. I've got to find something because I have much less in my container in there than I thought I did. So I've got to do some creative creations this evening for the rest of the evening. But
Creative mixology.
I got some creative mixology. But I'm ready to go hop on the Xbox and hang out with everybody. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do game streaming here. Same channel, probably around 10 o'clock if anyone wants to hang out. I don't know what we're playing. Maybe doing Destiny. It depends on who all shows up. If we've only got 3, we'll probably do Destiny. If it's more, we'll do something else. We'll find something. But join us. It's a bunch of old guys that aren't very good at gaming but think we are and get mad when we don't do well. And it's kind of funny. So join us and have fun with it, and we'll go from there. So that's all we got for this episode. This was episode 52 of the Gene Pool Variety Hour. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with us, guys. And thanks for listening if you're just listening to the audio podcast out there in the interweb somewhere. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, always remember...
Stay nerdy, my friends.
What are you, like Geordie LaForge over there with your little visor? What the heck is that going on there? Either that or you got like it's like your own version of an Oculus Rift over there, right? So anyway, thanks guys. Y'all have a good night. We'll talk to you later.
Peace.
You're still here?
And yeah, I'm drunk.
It's over. Go home.